Okay, let's talk about the Valley. All right. This will be quick, I think. But, if you're joining live, put all your questions and thoughts down in the chat box and we'll definitely get to them. And if you're watching on the replay, be sure to comment down below, share, and subscribe. Okay. Now, Janet and Jason versus Nia and Danny. My word for them is projection. Okay. Janet and Jason keep trying to say, oh, what is Nia and Danny hiding? Nia is covering for Danny. They act like they're so perfect, but they have problems too. Actually, they don't act like they're perfect. They talk a lot about their problems. Nia has talked about her postpartum depression. Danny has talked about, being exhausted, 3 under 3. Now it's four under fun, four under four. He's talked about, taking accountability for when he does drink and maybe goes some other type of way. They've shown us their lives. They've talked about their problems. They've talked about their religion. They've talked about a lot of stuff. The couple that is pretending is Janet and Jason. Anytime Janet talks about Jason, oh, he's perfect. Like my mother is always like, Janet, don't be mad at Jason. He's perfect. What? Thou dost protest too much. If he is so perfect, then why did you lose your freaking mind over the he takes off his wedding ring when he goes out rumor? If he's so perfect and your marriage is so perfect and you guys are just so perfect. To me, the couple that's pretending is Janet and Jason. What do we actually know about them? They're so busy pointing the finger at everybody else. What do we really know about their relationship? What do we know what goes on with them behind closed doors? We don't know. What have they ever fought on camera? Has they ever checked each other on camera? I have yet to see it. I've only seen Jason be a yes boy and regurgitate the lines that Janet tells him to say. I've seen Nia check Danny on camera. She's like, Danny, stop. I'm not getting involved with this. Danny, listen to your wife. I've seen them have their situation. The difference is when Nia and Danny have a situation, they do it in a healthy way. Versus when you have like a Jackson Brittany situation, it's all toxicity, trauma, and dysfunction. So the fact that Nia and Danny can check each other in healthy ways, have conversations, and work through it is an example of a healthy couple. Not a couple that's faking anything, not a couple that's lying. That's a healthy couple. The couple to me that is a fake and phony and liars is Janet, Snake Janet, and Diva Jason. Because Jason is a diva, 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 diva all day long. Okay, Diva? Get out of here. The fact that Jason was so mad at Danny for calling Janet a snake, yet didn't you call Jasmine, and I quote, the biggest snake of them all, literally the episode before this one? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Should Melissa be coming for your neck that you called her woman a snake, but you want to come for Danny's neck for calling your wife a snake? What's the difference? What's good, Jason? You came out of your mouth and called another woman a snake. Now you're mad that Danny came out of his mouth and called your wife one? Did you apologize to Melissa for calling Jasmine the biggest snake of them all? Isn't that what you called her when you lost your little diva mind at the beach? When you and Janet tried to tag team Jasmine and for once in her life she wasn't having it? And told Janet off, you called her the biggest snake of them all. So before you come out your diva mouth and try to say anything to Danny, how about you apologize to Melissa for calling her woman a snake? And the gag is, I actually gave Jason the benefit of the doubt. I used to think, oh, it's Janet. She's horrible and he's her puppet. Yes, she's horrible. Yes, he is her puppet, but he's also trash. He's also horrible. This whole episode, he just left a very bad taste in my mouth. The way he was going after Danny, and it was so very clear at the boys' dinner that Jax, Brittany, Janet, and Jason all got together to try to take down Danny and Nia. Jax literally said, I'm out of rehab and I want to go out. Psycho, I know. And he goes out, and the first thing he is attacking Danny over his drinking when you're like, drugs isn't my problem. I can drink if I want to. My problem is anger. What? The problem isn't the snow or the skiing. That's not, or, again, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, hypothetically, Jason, don't come sue me because you need, eBay money. Don't come at me, Jason, or Brit, because Brit needs some, I don't know, whatever. Um, I still think that Jax something physical happened between Jax and Brittany, and I'm not buying he flipped a table and it just so happened to hit Brittany's knee, and that's why he is no longer able to see his son. And production basically forced him to go to rehab. I'm not buying that story. Just in my gut, in my heart. Also, if you see the way Tom Schwartz is around Jax, it's so he is so it's like a visceral disgust of Jax. And I obviously I don't think very much of Tom Schwartz either, to be honest with you. And Tom Schwartz and Jason in the same scene, bleh, it was like a bunch of like tofu throwing up on each other. Oh, it was gross. But also during the after show, if you watch it, Tom Schwartz was a Jax. He was like, yeah, he's like, I didn't think you were capable of that when they were talking about Brittany and Jax fighting. And when he said, I didn't think you were capable of that, in my gut, that confirmed how I felt that, like, I think Jax either physically did something to Brittany, but they're not going to say it because they don't want him canceled. They want the checks to keep coming in. They don't want to bring it up. Maybe they don't want Cruz in it. I don't know. But when he said, I didn't think you were capable of that, why would you say, I don't think you're capable of throwing a table or punching a wall when Jax has been violent and aggressive for the last 10 to 15 years he's been on television? He's fighting dudes at Stassi's birthday. He was trying to fight that dude. He's gotten into fights, he's gotten drunk, he's gone to jail, like, he's punched things, he's thrown things. Like, Jax has been always aggressive and very violent, verbally and physically with things. So when it was the way Schwartz said, I didn't think you were capable of that. To me, if I said to someone, I didn't think you were capable of that, I'm not talking about flipping a table and it accidentally hitting someone. I'm talking about you hitting someone. I didn't think you as a man was capable of hitting your wife. That to me was the full sentence. Like, finish the sentence, Schwartz. And if you see energetically, Schwartz to me, I think lost. So, like, not that I ever think he really respected Jax, but I think that there is an energetic different tone shift between, yeah, Jax is crazy versus Jax hit Brittany. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that Jax was forced into rehab. Everyone agrees that he cannot see his son by himself because he got so mad and flipped a table and the table accidentally hit her. That's an accident. That has probably happened 100 times before where he's done something, something accidentally hit somebody. But all of these repercussions, she's like, divorce, restraining order, custody. That to me feels like, and again, he's like, she has all the cards, everybody's got on Brittany's side, you know, and then it kind of make more sense why they all are so gathering around Brittany. I'm personally tired of the Brittany brigade. I'm looking at you, Zach. I'm also looking at you, Kristen. I'm looking at you, Jasmine. I'm looking at you, like, I'm tired of the Brittany brigade. It's enough. I don't want to watch a show anymore where every single episode we're up Brittany's ass. I mean, but oops. I don't want to watch a show like that anymore. I'm tired of the Brittany brigade. I'm over it. I'm over it. I have compassion for her if what my gut is saying is true. Again, I'm not saying it's true. I wasn't there. They're not claiming this. I'm just saying in my heart, I feel that's what happened. And that's kind of why everybody's up Brittany's butt because of what happened to her. And that's why she holds all the cards and all of that. That's kind of how I feel on that one. But when it comes to Janet and Jason, I think they are the biggest snakes of them all. I think that they are the ones hiding the secrets. And that's why they keep pointing the fingers because they don't want their secrets to come to light. Look at them, don't look at me. And I also think this is a huge case of jealousy. I think the women are jealous of Nia. I think the men are jealous of Danny. Danny has his stuff together. He has his kids, he has his new house. He has a pageant queen, beautiful, kind, gorgeous, sexy wife. They are clearly in love. They have a healthy relationship. Danny is a working actor. He acts and he does voice acting. Voice acting is very lucrative. Very lucrative. If you can get into voice acting, you can make a lot of money. Very lucrative. He has his stuff together. They have a very beautiful family. They are genuine about their faith. They don't weaponize Christianity. But they are proud to be Christians. Like they're like me. I'm a proud Christian person, but I never weaponize my beliefs against anybody else or any of that crap. So I think that they are very jealous of them because they got a lot going on. They got a lot going on. And I love how Nia cleared the hell out of Janet without lifting a finger. She was like, I wanted to come and talk to you because, there's been a lot of talk about you. And I forgot what she said this down the third. And Janet's like, well, if your husband's going to, and she was like, he was horrible. She was like, horrible, horrible. And she was like, what did she say to her? She was like, you need to watch what you say to me and how you say it. I'm gonna address you directly the way I address things directly in my marriage. And she cleared the hell out of Janet. And then Janet got up, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Yeah, you got up, babe. Your demons were bothered, okay, by Nia's light. But she cleared you because that's how women who are in their healed, divine, feminine energy is so powerful through our stillness and our calmness that we can clock you and clear you without picking up a pinky. And she clocked and cleared the hell out of Janet. She said straight to her face, she goes, I feel like you're coming after us. I feel like you're trying to make all this stuff up. And I'm coming to you directly. What's good? Nia basically pulled up and said, what's good? That was the equivalent of what Nia did. She pulled up and said, what's good? And Janet, like the coward that she is, ran away because Janet knew she was called out. She knew she was being pathetic. She knew she was lying and bending the truth. She knew she was jealous as hell of Nia. Nia is a beautiful woman. And congrats on baby number 4. 4 under 4. God bless them. Nia clocked. I'm so happy that Danny and Nia didn't take the bait, that it did not cause them to fight each other. Because what they wanted was they wanted discourse between Nia and Danny within their marriage. They wanted to get Nia to attack her husband. And when she didn't, when she stood 10 toes down for her man, as she should in the situation, that's when they got all bothered because they thought that they were slick enough that they would come in and infiltrate their relationship. And should be a good cautionary tale to anybody out there. Be careful who you allow in your marriage or relationship. People who play in your face, act like they're your friends, want to give you all this feedback, all your husband, you're this, your man, you're this, when the whole time they're plotting your demise. And Nia and Danny clocked it. They're like, no, you're not going to mess up what we got going on here. I love my husband. I'm going to stick beside him. And what? Nia, no notes, flawless. You're amazing and great. What else can we talk about? Jesse and Michelle. Jesse and Michelle, I'm understanding why they're at the bottom of the reunion seat. They could have been friends of. Like honestly, I think next season we could get rid of Michelle altogether. We can keep Jesse as a friend of, but I want at least 2 new couples. Janet and Jason can go. They can just be fired straight the hell out. Jax and Brittany can go. Because I'm not believing anything with Jax and Brittany. How is Brittany still in the house? I thought they were having all this financial problem. I thought that the mortgage was 100K behind. I thought he had 100K in taxes. I thought that, he was getting a new lease on a house. She had all this money in an Airbnb that wasn't even being used. How is she still in the house? I guess that Valley money is really good for them to be able to stay in the house. I'm not believing anything with Jax and Brittany. I think a lot of what they do is made up. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of it is just smoke and mirrors. I'm not buying it. Brittany's a big hypocrite. Jax is a weirdo. I am tired of seeing Jax and Brittany on my screen. Jax can go, Brittany can go, Janet can go, Jason can go. Jesse can be a friend of, Michelle can go. Quiet as it's kept, Jasmine and Zach can also go. I'm tired of both of them. I am so tired of watching Jasmine shuck and jive for these people who do not like her. Jasmine, none of these people like you, and none of them are your real friends. You can tell. Look at Brittany's face when Jasmine talks to her or tries to touch her. Look at Janet's face when Jasmine tries to touch her or talk to her. These are not your friends. They don't like you. I'll give you Zach. Zach might actually like you, but the rest, they don't like you. And you're so up their butt. It is insane. You had one redeeming moment when you had your whole Karen monologue against Janet, but then you went so back so quickly, flip flopping, kissing her butt. You ruined the moment. If you're going to stand 10 toes down and come out swinging and stay swinging, sweetheart. But Jasmine, you're not it for me. You're not it. I want to see more women who understand who is for me and who is not for me. Have some discernment. And if you don't have some discernment, have some self-respect and decency. Because these women do not act like they even like you. It's very bizarre and weird. Zach, I like Zach, but the problem with Zach is he's too far up Brittany's butt. That's what I'm saying. This whole Brittany brigade. Let's turn Jax's bar into Brits. Let's go to the house and pack up all Jax's stuff. Oh, Brittany's amazing. No, she's not. I'm so confused. Like, what am I? What's going on? And I'll tell you this: I don't like Jax, but ain't no way in hell would I be okay with having people come into my home, go through my things, and touch them, put them in trash bags, throw it away, pack it up. Hell no. I thought that was so dirty and so disrespectful. And I don't like Jax, but out of principle, how dare you go into somebody's home and go through their things? I don't care where he's at. I don't care if he's at the hospital. I don't care if he's at the bar. I don't care if he's at rehab. I don't care if he's at the gym. You don't do that to somebody. I had two people that I really, really loved, do me dirty in a very similar situation. I don't speak to them anymore. Because how disrespectful and belittling and demeaning is it to go into somebody else's space and touch and throw away and pack away and choose their things? So disrespectful. So high, like, no, absolutely ridiculous. Get out of here. Again, to me, Jax and Brittany, I think they're both grifters. I think they both are just playing everybody for a check. I don't believe anything that comes out of their mouth. This is kind of how I feel about them. Kristen and Luke, I love them both. I want them to come back for season 3, but I want to see more of them, not just in service of Brittany. I do like them being in service of Nia and Danny because that's fun. That's like a beat. Like I love their dynamic. I love that friendship. I love Nia. I love Danny. I definitely want Nia to come back and I want Danny to come back. Kristen and Luke, but I want more of Kristen and Luke. I know they have their baby journey, Mazel. They just had their baby. Congrats to them. Sending lots of healthy love. So we know we had the engagement, we had the baby, and all those are big milestones and big things. But I feel like Kristen has just been in service of Brittany, planning everything for Brittany, making sure she's okay, in service of Nia, clocking Janet. But that part I absolutely love. Like whenever Kristen goes after Janet all day long, I'm okay with that. But I want to see more of them. I want to see more of them hanging out and their dynamic and them doing things and what's really going on with them other than the like baby and engagement stuff, which are great milestones and they're great, events to have and things to work around. But I want to see more of Kristen and Luke. I just want to see more of them, if that makes sense. So I would love for them to come back, but with more and not just more in like a supporting role. So that's kind of where I landed with the Valley. Kristen and Luke love them, want to see more. Janet and Jason are both the biggest snakes of them all, and they both can get fired and go all the way to hell. I don't care. Like, it's Jason, I was rooting for you, but Diva, you got to calm down. The way you came for Danny this episode, like, why are you mad? Why are you so mad? Jesse and Michelle. Oh, Jesse and Michelle. I don't need Michelle anymore on the show. I'm not sure why she's on the show. She talks so bizarrely. She's like, and the blah blah said, I am the mother of your child. You know, Jesse said, no, I wanted Isabella to see her grandmother. Like, it's just so weird. But beside that, again, Michelle trying to paint Jesse as this horrible monster, not letting his daughter see her grandmother, who, of course, is my heart goes out to that. That's so sad, you know, who is sick. But Jesse was like, well, no, like, number one, like, I didn't know how sick Michelle's mother was. She didn't tell me. And two, our child is 5. She's already going through our separation. She's already has to move and have 2 different homes. And, you know, she doesn't yet understand the concept of death and mortality and having your grandmother here, but she's dying. And then one day she's just going to not be here. Like, we need to sit her down and make sure that she is emotionally and mentally and spiritually prepared to witness the death of her grandmother, or the, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Hell yeah, Jesse, like, that's right. So I think that's great insight from Jesse. And I think the reason why he has that insight is because I think he has his life coaches and his therapists, and he's really working on himself. So he probably has that insight of, well, you know, if I am this 40-something-year-old man and I'm still dealing with certain things, how is my 5-year-old child, how is my 5-year-old daughter going to deal with these really big, heavy things when she's already dealing with a lot of big, heavy things? And I think that was very insightful. And like he said, he's like, the rest is just logistics. Of course she can see him. But I believe Jesse. I think that Michelle never loved him. I think she settled for him. I think that she always wanted more money, but I don't think Aaron's house, to me, like, not to be a snob, but like, we're talking about Bravo, so I'll be a snob. Like, I'd rather live at Jesse's house than Aaron's house. Aaron's house seemed a little. Let me put it this way: Aaron's house was perfect for him. I don't think it's perfect for a new wife and a child and the dog named Kilo. I guess there's a lot of snowing going on, right? But yeah, I don't know. And I think that, and again, when Jesse called Michelle a hooker, I think he meant it. And I think he did have the receipts. But I think the reason why Jesse backtracked was because, one, I don't think he wanted Isabella to hear or to one day see that her mother allegedly was popping it open for some change. You know what I mean? Because again, like I said, her response to me told it all. Her response was, well, you've gotten paid too. And she was like, I have the cash apps and the Venmos from, you know, when, you know, the gay guy was sending you this. Why is a gay guy sending you all of this money? XYZ, blah, 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 blah. So her whole situation, her whole, you know, stance on it was, you know, you've gotten paid too. How dare you call me that? I don't know. I'm not judging anybody. You want to bust it open? Bust it open. Do you? As long as everybody is of age and everything is consensual, live your life. Knock yourself out. But where I think, is there smoke, there fire? Yes. Do I think Jesse probably had one too many of those very expensive glasses of wine? And he was, you know, trigger happy or text happy. He was a thumb warrior on that group chat and he told it. I do. Do I think he has receipts and it's true? In my heart, I do think it's true. Do I care? No. Do I have proof? No. Not saying it's the truth. I'm saying I believe it. I think that Jesse is completely tuned out of this season. I think Jesse is only here to get dirt on Michelle for the divorce. So he can get as much money and he can bury her and he can get Isabella. I think he's only on this show right now to get dirt on her, to talk to Jenna, to talk to, that's why he befriended Kristen, you know, all of that. Mary says, I am judging. We judge. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just feel like we don't need Michelle back. Aaron to me is very weird. I don't know what's going on with him. And I will say Jesse really disappointed me during the scene of Boys Night when Jax and Jason so very clearly had an agenda and a plan to attack Danny. You know, oh, well, I don't think you can regulate your drinking. Just because you don't drink every day doesn't make you an alcoholic. I think you have a problem, and that's coming from me. Jax, that's narcissism 101. You say something true about yourself in order to make the lie you're saying about somebody else seem truer. Just because you're being honest about who you are does not mean you're being honest about who I am. And that's what he did. He's like, well, I think you have a problem. And coming from me, who has the biggest problem, well, just because you're being honest about your situation doesn't mean you're speaking the truth about mine. And I thought that Jesse was so weak. I thought that Jesse was such a follower. And I think that it really disappointed me that Jesse said nothing in Danny's defense and just sat there and let them do that to him. Regardless if Jesse agreed with them or not, I think Jesse should have said something. You don't sit there and let these two twats, Jason and Jason, systematically go after Danny and then try and call him your friend. If I'm Danny, just like he said in his confessional, he's like, I don't have a problem. I'm just figuring out who my friends are, and it's not these people around this table. I wouldn't rock with any of them again. Jax, no thank you. Jason, no thank you. And Jesse, no thank you. Because if you sit there in my presence and you allow these two people to attack my character and you say nothing and you do nothing and then you want to turn around and act like you're my friend, miss me with the BS. I lost so much respect for Jesse. He just kind of sat there. He didn't say anything. Buck up, Jess. All season, he's been muted. It's time to tap in or ship out. You know? So there's that. I think I got everybody. I think I got everything. Jasmine and Zach, they both could go, to be honest. I'm not feeling Jasmine. Maybe keep Zach on as like a quirky sidekick, whatever. Michelle can go. Jesse can stay as a friend of. Just do better. Janet and Jason can go. Nia and Danny can stay. Luke and Kristen can stay. Who else is there? I also want new couples. I want 2 to 3 new solid couples. Oh, Brittany can go too. So, and Jax. So, I want 2 to 3 new, fresh couples. I don't want Sheena. I don't want Lala. I don't want Tom Schwartz. I don't want James Kennedy. I don't want Ariana's brother. I don't need these washed up. I don't need, not in the negative way, but just in like a no, thank you. I want new people. New people. Maybe some of Danny and Nia's friends could join. That would be really interesting. I want new people. If that makes sense. Okay. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Valley. So as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Da-da-da. It's a fun, free, and easy way to support me and the channel. So with that, let's take your candy cane questions and